Sounds. We are doing the Stanley Cup review. So we are facing off with the Tampa Bay Lightning versus the Montreal Canadiens. I'm Adam. As always, I'm joined with Junior. Junior, are you ready?
Let's go!
Okay, Junior, quite the matchup here. I don't think we had either of these kind of getting toward the end final here. So a couple surprises. I mean, not so surprising that Lightning are here. They have played well, and they are defending the cup from last year.
They are.
What are your thoughts of maybe just the playoff run in general? And then we'll kind of break down the teams.
So you gotta love the NHL playoffs here. First, anything can happen. The things that you expect to happen don't happen. There's been tons of upsets. I mean, the Habs have been complete underdogs the entire time.
Unreal.
And then Tampa Bay's power play, clipping at almost 40%. Those are probably the two biggest stories for me, at least takeaway so far.
Yeah, Tampa Bay's just their offense has been humming. Power play's been really working. This is a real good matchup with goalies too. So yeah. It's going to be a real big battle here. So why don't we jump in and let's take a look at the path. Sorry, one moment here. Let me just pull this up here. I want to make sure that I got the right sticker for us. So let's take a look at the path for the Tampa Bay Lightning. So they were up to beat Florida 4-2 in that series, Carolina 4-1, who Carolina looked pretty good in their first round series, and then the Islanders, which is another kind of Cinderella story making it this far in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So what did you think about their path and how this primes them for the Stanley Cup final?
Now, funny enough, I didn't have them getting past Florida, and then I didn't have them getting past Carolina, but I did have them getting past the Islanders. Kind of jumped on that ship a bit late, 3 rounds too late. Yeah. I think the series with Florida was probably a bit closer than the series with the Hurricanes. And then obviously going to Game 7 with the Islanders. I mean, the Islanders had really been steamrolling up to that point. So, again, they did what they had to do to get where they are right now, and they are the champs. So you can't really say anything other than that, but they've done a good job defending so far.
Yeah, 1-0 goal yesterday in which Kucherov did sign up. We will talk about that in a moment. But let's look at their playoff dominance here on the offensive end, because it's been a very, very strong production for the Tampa Bay Lightning. And like we had mentioned in previous round matchups, their power play is humming.
Yeah. The crazy thing is this isn't just us pulling stats from the Lightning. These are the leading point totals in the playoffs.
Yeah, literally Kucherov is the leader, right?
1 through 5. Kucherov, Point, Stamkos, Killorn, and Hedman. They are the 1 through 5 leaders in point totals so far this playoff. And now a lot of them have obviously been power play points. I think Point's got most of his goals on the power play. Stamkos as well. But when you've got that line going the way it's going, that's why the point totals are where they are. Killorn's had a very quiet but pretty strong playoff this year as well.
Yeah. Okay. Let's take a look at the Habs and their path to glory. So obviously, heartbreaking loss for us being Toronto Maple Leaf fans, but they did take the Leafs out 4-3. That went to 7, and then swept the Winnipeg Jets, who looked a lot better in the first round, and then ultimately beating Vegas 4-2.
Mm-hmm. There's stunning similarities in terms of the path this year to the path they had back in '93 with Patrick Roy.
Last time they were Stanley Cup champions, yep.
They beat the Nordiques in the first round, 4-2. Then they swept the Sabres, and then they beat the Isles 4-1. So, I mean, obviously there wasn't a Game 7 in there. A ton of OT when the Habs have had a ton of OT this year. But they are battle-tested. Obviously that '93 team had a bit more punch. They had Danfus, Muller, Bellows, Keane, Savard, Jean Leclerc, Gary Leeman, Guy Charbonneau, Schneider, and Brisebois, but they had Patrick Roy.
It's a pack team right there.
This team doesn't have that kind of scoring touch. I mean, I think Danfus had almost 100 points that year. But
they got a huge heart.
Yeah, the one thing that the Habs have is that they're playing as a team. So we'll get into kind of the breakdown later on of kind of how they've gotten here, but they've definitely persevered more than not. They were down 3-1 to Toronto, and that series was pretty much over. Yeah. And then Winnipeg, people didn't think that they were big enough or fast enough to compete with the Jets, and
including
us. Steamrolled them. Yeah, I didn't think that they were. And then into Vegas, I didn't think that they were big enough or strong enough to compete with Vegas. And lo and behold, they did it.
These guys got a lot of character and a lot of heart, and that's showing on the ice. And
well, they're playing as a team, right? They're not depending on any person. It's
everything
not one
starts
guy.
clicking, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, let's get into Caufield then. Okay.
Kid looks like he's 12.
Just came back from the fair.
Yeah. It's almost like they started him a bit too late. I think he watched a few games in the press box during that. Sorry, the kids are. Hey, Liam, can you stop?
It's Saturday morning, guys.
Yeah, it's Saturday morning.
We're live. Anything can happen.
If you see any dinosaurs fly across the screen, that's But I mean, his point totals are pretty impressive. He's scored some big goals. He's definitely playing above his age bracket. Yep. His ice time is up there, and this is a rookie. You have to remember, and he's been playing absolutely phenomenal. So they kind of caught lightning in a bottle with him.
Yeah, absolutely.
But just a solid playoff from this young kid, and
he doesn't mind shooting. Look at the shots, right?
He's not afraid to shoot the puck.
Yeah, which is great.
He's not afraid. Yeah,
he's not the Ben Simmons of hockey.
Thank God, because they might be in trouble if he was.
Okay, let's talk about Kucherov, because he was out in the first period of Game 6 with a cross-check from Mayfield, and he did suit up for Game 7. He didn't play the rest of Game 6 after that. He finished off his shift and then went to the locker room, etc. Did suit up for Game 7. What do you think about his current health status, and if there's going to be any impact here, moving into this Stanley Cup Series, which goes live Monday?
Yeah, there's two schools of thought here. One is that he's hurt and he's going to play hurt, or the other is a bit of cloak and dagger. He's making you think he's hurt so that you can kind of maybe lay off him a little bit and give him a bit more space. Because I mean, at the end of the day, they don't really want to hurt anyone. But if a guy's got some rib issues or whatever it is,
might lean into him a little bit, eh?
Yeah, they might not go as hard at him as possible. But I think his health might be a pretty big factor. As you can see, he is the leading point total getter in the playoffs with 27 points. Yep. Going to miss that production, especially the passing, because his head has been on a swivel and he's been putting the puck where it needs to go. So I think his health issue definitely is something that needs to be concerned about. Tampa's going to need him to pull this off, because he is just so impactful on the power play, and that's been what's been working for them. So hopefully he's at full strength, because we want to see these guys go at it, right? Yeah.
Okay, tell us about the pizza boy.
Mr. Pizza. Man needs a slice of pizza after wins, and he's been eating a lot of pizza so far. So, I mean, the one thing about DANAULT is he's got 3 assists, hasn't scored, but he has been absolutely shut down for all the offensive forwards that they've gotten to this point. I mean, he's shut down Matthews, Marner, Scheifele, Stone. This guy has just been just absolutely phenomenal. So obviously he's going to be matched up against the point line. And Point's got 14 goals. So who are you going to shut down? You're going to shut down Point, because if you can shut down Point, that's a lot of their goal production. And he might be eating a lot more pizza.
Yeah, there you go. I hope so, and I hope it's good quality pizza at least.
I'm sure it's pretty good.
Previewing next week our juniors pizza review. If you know what Vesuvio's is, and is now closed due to the pandemic issues, you're going to want to check out that review. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe, like, comment. You'll see that when it pops up next week.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the best matchup, I think, of goaltending that we're going to see throughout this playoffs. Is Vasilevsky the better goalie right now, or is Price going to pull something out of the hat here?
Here's a mess. To be honest, this is a great matchup. It's tough to say if Vasilevsky's the best out of this. He's got a lot more kind of possession in front of him in terms of how dominant the Lightning have been to this point. Whereas on Price's side, it's more he's seeing the puck really well. I mean, their goals against and their stats are very, 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 very similar.
Let's take a look at
So, I mean, you literally look at the shot totals, the goals they've given up, the goals against, save percentage, everything is like super, super close. I just think that Vasilevsky has had the ability to have a better team possession game. I don't mean a better team, but a better team possession game in front of him.
Yeah, he's had a lot of offense in front of him too, right?
And that's the thing. And when you got a lot of power play time, because they've had a crap ton of penalties called against them. Sorry, give me 1 second. Guys, can you be quiet, please? No one's listening. Kids. So, I mean, we've gotten to this point, so many power plays, and, those shot totals, they're going to be where they are. They didn't give up a lot of shorthanded chances, so, I mean, just a really responsible team in front of him as well.
Yeah, this is going to be a great matchup, and I'm really looking forward to this. Let's talk about the odds real quick for our betting folks here. We got the Lightning are going off at -280, and then the Habs are going off at +240, which I don't think is going to hurt them at all. They don't mind being the underdog here, and it probably bodes well for that team.
No, I mean the way I look at it, the Habs they've been the dogs the entire time. They're playing as a team right now. They don't have that dependence on one guy. And their rules are super simple here, when you look at it. They're attainable targets, too, in terms of what they're trying to do.
Yes.
It's win the face-off. If you don't win it, win the next one. Finish your check. Cycle the puck. Support the boards. Sticks in the lane. And just let Carey see the puck. And it's that easy. And if they continue to do that, and if you drop an assignment, don't let it hang. Just get the next one and make sure you don't miss the next check. And
they've done a fantastic job at that, right? If they make a mistake, they're right back there correcting it, and they're fixing it, and they're working together as a team, right? They're not hanging their heads. There's there's no dispute here. They just keep moving forward, and they just continue to rise to the challenge. So
yeah. I mean, there's some underlying stories here, like Mikhail Sergachev, who was the 9th overall pick in the 16 draft. He was dealt to Tampa in 2017 for Jonathan Drouin, who unfortunately took a leave of absence, I think, back in April, just to do with some, personal matters that they didn't really go into it too much. But Sergachev's a 6'3" defenseman, 216 pounds. Up to this point, he's got 2 assists and a +1. So it's kind of like a homecoming for him. So it could be a point for him to prove, like, you shouldn't have given up on me, or you shouldn't have helped me. But that defensive back with Hedman and him, they've got some big boys back there. And they are a very responsible team defensively. So it's going to be where Montreal is going to find their spots. And they've been finding them all playoffs. So there's no issue to find where they aren't going to find them.
Yep.
So if you want to break this thing down, you're going to look at special teams first. So PK, Canadiens are at about 93%.
Okay.
So I give them that check mark. Tampa Bay, their power play operating at 37.7%. I give that to them.
100%.
Defense, I got to give that to Tampa. Just bigger bodies. Scoring, you got to give that to Tampa. If you want to look at the goaltending, just say it's a wash. They're both really good goaltenders, and you can't really put one above the other. And then you have to look at metal, like the test that they've had up to this point. And I would probably give that to Montreal. So it comes down to one thing on each side. The pressure on Tampa to win another cup, the pressure to keep everything moving and humming the way it is, or the perseverance of Montreal. Are they going to continue to persevere like they have up to this point? So for me, it's tough. I want to see that cup back above the 45th. So
doesn't make me happy. It gives me nothing.
It doesn't, but I'd rather see it up here than down there. So I mean, at 240, I'm probably going to hammer the Habs.
So you have them winning this series then?
Yeah.
And how many games do you think this series is going to go?
I think this might go a good distance, 6 or 7 for sure.
Yeah. Okay, I like Tampa, and I've kind of rode them a little bit. I had them beating Florida and so on, kind of going forward. And I wasn't too sure about when they got to the Canes, but I think I still had them in the preview. And I think I'm going to go with Tampa. I just think the offensive production is that strong, unless Carey Price just completely closes the door, which he has that ability to do, and we've talked about that in past. I like Tampa here, and I like to see the back-to-back. And again, bringing the cup up here to Canada via the Montreal Canadiens isn't going to move the dial for me one iota. So. And I guess that's it. I mean, any final thoughts on this matchup?
Yeah. I mean, the keys here are, I think first is going to be Kucherov's health. If he's healthy, that's going to be a big kind of thorn in the side of the pants of the Habs. Because then if you've got DANAULT having to switch from point onto Kucherov's line, there's going to be a lot of juggling. But he has shown the perseverance again, and the coach as well, to change things when he needs to change things.
Yep.
But there's been a lot of guys on this team that have kind of really disappeared since that first round against the Leafs, like Armia. I haven't seen much from him. A lot of those defensemen, those big bulks back there, they haven't been doing much, but they've been doing what they need to. And that's just like guys are going to disappear and reappear on this Habs team. So it's like it's whoever has that opportunity to take it, they're going to take it. And they've just been really responsible. So, I mean, these are two good teams. I mean, no one saw the Habs here. If you went on your NHL, 21 or NHL 20 or whatever EA Sports, NHL you play and tried to simulate this playoff 1,000 times, they would not have gotten it once at all. No chance.
There's no stat line for heart and grit and strength and power and all these other little things, right?
There's so many other little things that go into these, and I just think it's been an absolutely phenomenal playoffs. Regardless, the Leafs lost in the first round, but
sure.
I'm used to that now, right? Yeah. Like I don't expect anything.
Take that in stride, right?
Yeah. I would probably just say if you're a Leafs fan, just bet them to make the playoffs, and then after that, don't touch them.
Bet them to lose the first round if that's the prop bet for that.
maybe the mojo will be better because you'll probably get pretty positive odds on the other side. Yeah. But it's been a great playoffs. I'm looking forward to seeing who hoists this trophy at the end of the day. It is a beautiful trophy, but a little bit of sadness because the hockey season is going to be over in the next week and a half. So it's been a great year.
That point too.
Yeah, basketball's almost there too.
Yeah. Well, look, we want to thank everybody for joining us. We appreciate you spending your time and energy watching us. The easiest way to help grow our channel is just to hit that like button. If you do want to comment, we would love to see what you think about this and get your feedback about the channel, about this game, about one of our other videos, etc. If you want to subscribe, we'd love to have you as part of our channel. So please join and turn notifications on because we go live like on Saturday mornings when it's cartoon time for the kids.
Yeah.
You never know what could happen when we're live. So
never know.
You definitely want to turn that on. But we want to thank you.
Kids.
Yeah, exactly. So we want to thank you once again. And for everybody here at Offside Out of Bounds, I'm Adam.
I'm Junior. See ya real soon.